Mafia Trilogy details. Valorant release date is revealed. A new Respawn Entertainment location opened up solely in Vancouver, Canada for Apex Legends. And did the new Call of Duty title just leak? This is the Sidescape Game Report. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sidescape Game Report for the week of May 18th to May 22nd, 2020. This is James St. Charles. I'm Jake Burke, and we've got an exciting show for you this week. But before we get to the news, which we do have quite a few stories, we begin this show with reveals and updates, a quick rapid-fire bullet-pointed format of smaller stories of the week, and James will talk about them all afterwards. So Iron Man's VR demo is live right now on PS4 and PSVR. I'm having a lot of problems with it, which we will talk about in the Sidescape Gaming Podcast live on Monday. Serious Sam 4 release date set for August on PC and Stadia. Sea of Thieves launches on Steam June 3rd. Microsoft Flight Simulator beta is set to begin in mid-July. And Borderlands 3 has revealed its third paid DLC expansion and second free takedown mission. The new expansion is titled Bounty of Blood, A Fistful of Redemption, and is coming out on June 25th. As the Leone-esque title teases, it is a Western-inspired romp across a rough and tumble desert planet called Gehenna. So, James, anything jump out at you on those reveals and updates list?
Serious Sam did.
Really? Okay, what is Serious Sam for someone like me who has no idea?
If you like Doom, you'll like Serious Sam. It's like a cross between Duke Nukem and Doom. Okay. But it's very open. So it'd be like a big desert and a bunch of little I don't know, like buildings, but it's like spread out. So you'd be walking a long way, and then the enemies are a little bit like wacky. So there's demons and sort of stuff, but then there's like these guys who hold big bombs and they just run at you in suicide.
So it's kind of like Rage, where like Rage is very like wacky, almost like Borderlands.
So like Borderlands Rage, but with like Doom graphics, if that makes sense. That's how Serious Sam 3 was, which is fun. And then Duke Nukem humor. Okay. The main guy, Serious Sam, but he has like a Duke Nukem kind of deal. It's a fun game. And you can play multiplayer. Oh, very interesting. I played with like Gunnar and all of them, our friends, and it's fun. Yeah, but I did not know about 4. Well, it's coming in August. This is. But is it Stadia and what? PC and Stadia, so it'll be on Steam. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. I guess it's not on console, which it was supposed to be, and it sounds like something happened there. But there was a bunch of rumors that I didn't want to dive into today. I don't know how well it would do with console controller. I played with a controller, but it's just it's open. Like it's very much like you are roaming free and shooting enemies. Okay. I don't know if you'll like it too much because it is wave-based kind of thing. Like hordes of enemies just keep coming, and you just move through the map, get to the end. Okay. Not very much Doom-centered where you're in an arena fighting for, like a lot of the battles. It's you like running long distance, like a football field, and shooting people. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll try it. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a good game to try. But now, James, I want to talk about the biggest stories of the week. We've got 4 stories this week, James. Are you ready for them? Mm-hmm. Story number 1. You can play remastered versions of Mafia 2 and 3 right now on PC and console. This is by Charlie Hall at Polygon. In a surprise announcement Tuesday, publisher 2K made remastered versions of 2 games in the critically acclaimed Mafia Trilogy available for immediate download. The news comes less than 1 week after an announcement of the upgraded versions of all 3 games in the series, which are being sold together under the title Mafia Trilogy. Both Mafia 2 Definitive Edition and Mafia 3 Definitive Edition are available right now on PS4, Xbox One, Windows PC via Steam, and for those who pre-order the Mafia Trilogy prior to August 28th. Additionally, players who are already own the original games of those on certain platforms will be granted immediate access to the new versions on those platforms. So if you own Mafia 2 on Steam, you get the remastered version for free. The offer also includes free and discounted add-on content for both titles. Meanwhile, Mafia Definitive Edition won't be available until August 28th release date. Tuesday's announcement was also accompanied by new trailers for the 3 games. So I think that's where we can stop for a moment. Yeah. Mafia 2, Mafia 3 remastered HD-ish graphics. We'll get to that in a second. But Mafia 1 completely ground up remake of the original game. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this? I think it's nice that they released 2 and 3 remastered right now, but I feel like everyone's waiting for 1. Yes. They want to do like the full playthrough. And 1 is like the one that everyone wants to play because 1 is actually not playable right now. It's really bad graphics and playstyle. 2 is actually the current 2, not like the new definitive one. Yeah, is playable. I feel like the graphics are almost 1-to-1.
Yes. So I started 2 because I played the beginning of 2 a long time ago. But I started 2 up. I bought the trilogy because I'm excited for 1, and I wanted to play 3 for a long time, so it's a great little package. That being said, it is $60 for all 3 games, and you get
Very good.
Yeah, you get Mafia 1 when it comes out for free. Well, not for free, but you know. And but I can't really tell a difference between 2, what I played on, I think PS3, and what I'm playing now on PS4. Like, it looks legitimately the same, and I'm playing on a PS4 Pro, so it's like, I don't think this is 4K at all.
Remember when we talked about the Yakuza 3 remaster? It's like a port.
Yeah.
So I think they ported it, and even when I was looking at the PC Mafia 2s, it looked the same, like the trailer wise. So
it's just interesting.
I'm more excited for 1, and 2 is still playable, so it doesn't really matter. And 3 was already pretty current, so 1 is where we're gonna see stuff.
Yeah, and have you played 3 before?
I've watched 3. I've seen some clips.
I've heard 3's story is like phenomenal.
And all Mafia stories are phenomenal. Yeah. I'll say, like they're very like, I don't know. There's something about the Mafia storyline. I like Mafia games, like Yakuza. Another Mafia games are great. The GTA had Mafia. The fourth one.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for the trilogy. I mean, it's a cool bundle, and then you can get each individual game, I believe, for $20 to $30, depending on which one you buy. Or you can get the entire set for $60, and you get a bunch of DLC. And the Mafia 3 comes with all of the DLC packs, the story packs. So it's a pretty sweet package. I mean, I'm very excited to dive into 3 eventually.
I think nobody should be complaining about this.
No.
Like, even if it's like, oh, it's not the best graphics, it's fine.
It's awesome.
You're getting stuff for free, and it's updated. Are the controls different? Have you noticed that?
I believe the controls are updated for Mafia 2 slightly, but I think it's because the PS3 controller is so bad. They did like weird stuff with PS3 controller back in the day. But I don't know about like on Steam or anything. It seems to control pretty similar. Okay. If I'm honest. It's got some janky stuff where like sprint is L1, and then you have to like, also the clamor button is your left bumper, and you have to like hit that again. You don't just like automatically sprint and then climb over something. So like sprint into a wall and you're running against it, and then you have to press it again.
You can't change the controls?
You can't change the controls, but you can't change like how functionality works. So like, you know, in some games where you're sprinting and you'll automatically like vault over something. Okay. This is like a multiple button press because it's just a way like an old game was made.
Yep. So I know what you mean. Okay.
Okay, next story. Valorant will be publicly available in June by Matt Kim over at IGN. Riot Games has announced that Valorant will be launching free-to-play on June 2nd, 2020, after a month-long closed beta. The official launch will reset player accounts for anyone who was participating in the closed beta. Valorant is Riot's new 5v5 tactical shooter mixed in with some light hero elements. Players have described it as a mix between Valve's Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, and Blizzard's Overwatch, but Valorant is very much its own thing. As mentioned, once the official release version is live, players will have their accounts reset, so win-loss records and progression will start from 0 for all players. Our goal has always been to bring Valorant to as much of the world as soon as possible, so we're hyped to be able to announce it for June 2nd, says Anne Donlon, the executive producer of Valorant. Along with the full launch, Valorant will release with new patch content. Riot is also promising regular in-game content, game modes, agents, and maps after launch. Valorant, you've played a little bit of it.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to take off?
Sadly, with all the streamers that were burning themselves out 2-3 weeks in right away and thinking it was going to be the CS killer, it will not.
Okay.
But it's going to have an incredible professional scene because Riot is very supportive of their game. And there was a clip of a CSGO pro who was talking about in his entire career, he's like a 15-year career in Counter-Strike. He could name the handful of people he talked with at Valve. And he said in this 1 month, he's spoken to 20 to 30 people from Riot.
Wow.
Asking him about feedback, asking him and he felt like he's really passionate about this game. And he feels like it will take off with updates. In its current release state, he says it needs some work, but we'll see. Like, if the full game has a lot of maps, because the problem is the maps are very much like corridor central, and it's 80% CS, 20% Overwatch. Yeah, and you're not gonna get an Overwatch experience with this game, but it's meant for like free to play, low end PCs, like very low end, and so anyone can approach it. I think people will have fun with it. Like if you get like 6 friends, just go at it.
Yeah, are you planning to jump into it once it like launches fully?
I have a problem with their anti-cheat. There's like some hubbub about it. Okay. I'll explain. Tencent owns Riot. Tencent is a Chinese company owned by the Chinese government, and they're using an anti-cheat that uses what's called ring zero clearance, which means it's like operating at the kernel base of your operating system. Basically, it's like at the maximum security, which is like almost like a no-no. And it's doing that because they want to like catch cheaters because it's a free-to-play thing.
Yeah.
However, their system sucks because there's been cheaters a bunch of times showing up, and it doesn't work. It works in a sense that it's like monitoring the cheaters to monitor the cheats, and then it goes over it. But what they found is that the same cheats that you can use on Counter-Strike work on Valorant. So that was like a big thing. So the companies that have already been making cheats for other games can quickly move over and make cheats for this game and really defeat their system. So I just didn't like the way that anti-cheat was working. It's a little too invasive for my taste. So that's one little thing with it. But again, the game is just, I'd rather play Counter-Strike. That's my personality. Like, because it's very team oriented, like how you use your abilities, how you use your like communications.
Yeah.
And in Counter-Strike, it's like here and there you can hold down yourself and do your own thing, and then here's little communications like, hey, there's a guy here, and you can do your own stuff, do your own smokes, stuns, all that, or flashes. But in Valorant, it's like certain people need certain classes, and you got to coordinate to attack a site, or else you're gonna get team worked on.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So it's not like a one person game going in there. It requires a lot of teamwork, and I'm a solo kind of guy. So.
You're a lone wolf, James.
I'm a lone wolf, and I don't know.
I'm very interested. Yeah. I'm excited to try it out. I doubt that I'll get super into it, but I'm excited.
Yeah, it's free to play.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll take it. I do love the art style. I think the art style is like super cool.
It's very creative. Yeah.
All right. So this is a much larger story that I'm about to read over at gamesindustry.biz. So feel free to go check out the whole article, but I took kind of the snippet of it that we wanted to talk about. Respawn marks its 10-year anniversary with a new Vancouver studio by Rebecca Valentine at gamesindustry.biz. When Apex Legends launched in February of last year, Respawn Entertainment had laid the groundwork for its momentum through deals with its content creators and its plan for a sudden surprise release. But speaking to gamesindustry.biz, Respawn's COO, Dustin Welch, says that the game's sudden popularity took the studio by surprise, reaching over 1 million players in its first 8 hours, 10 million within 3 days, and 25 million within a week, and 50 million within its first month. Since then, Apex Legends has remained steadily popular despite competing against multiple other free-to-play battle royale titles. In fact, it's popular enough that Respawn is opening a new studio in Vancouver just to focus on the continued development. This will be Respawn's second location, alongside its existing studio in California, and will be led by a team including head operations Henry Lee and team director Steve Ferrier, I think is how you say it. They, along with the Apex Legends game director Chad Grenier, will join Welch to share the philosophy behind the new studio and what we can expect from the coming months and years. When you look at Vancouver, it's one of our EA's biggest studio locations, Lee says, and Vancouver's full of talented people in the games industry. So there was a natural fit with Steven coming on board with his core team and really established that foundation. Now we're just adding the missing pieces to it. So they're talking about basically the hiring process, but I think this is important to talk about Respawn as a whole, because obviously last year they kind of had their like almost arrival to the game's world on a huge stage. They're already known for Titanfall, but now being known now for the single player focused great action game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and then this massively successful multiplayer game, it's good to know that they're going to have basically two teams working on single player and multiplayer is what it sounds like.
That's good. Yeah. That's what it's needed for that company.
Yeah.
Or that sort of team, because yeah, like you're talking about with Titanfall and then Apex, and then with Star Wars, did you hear that they're going to continue that series?
It's been confirmed that it's now a series and that there will be more.
And I bet you they're going to throw some big money at it.
That game is
because
huge.
They just saw with the potential with the single player, and if the next game, which I hope is going to be, I know it's going to be good, but they continue that story and we get some good lore and maybe some stuff that intertwines. I don't know. It could. Yeah. I would like an original story.
Me too.
But I have full faith in the way they're doing this. Absolute right way you do this. You don't have one team working on this. You have like, this is that team that's focused on single player. This is that team that's focused on your other game. Yeah. Which again, if you had people that like wanted to work on both, or like, that's not how those teams work. But I think the recentered focus is what is needed.
Yeah, I agree. I think
beautiful. EA's doing the right thing.
Oh yeah, which is so surprising to say, right?
I know, right? They actually, but they have been killing it lately. They've been making really good decisions. You have like companies that have like we're good and then now bad. And it's like inverse now.
They're trying to figure it all out. I think with Respawn, this is really exciting just because there's now freedom to make like interesting single player projects and keep the profits coming in on Apex and keep that fan base happy, but also focusing on like, more our type of games, which is those single player experiences that, bring something new. And I know Jedi Fallen Order, they released that game earlier than they wanted to because they had to line it up with Rise of Skywalker release date.
Really?
Yeah, and so that's why the console version, you played on PC, so you didn't have as many problems. Yeah. But like I had crashes and glitches. I know, you kept telling me. Like you'd be running into an area, you'd freeze for like a solid 30 seconds to load the area, and then you keep running, and it's like there's a lot of technical problems. It's still a great game, but now that they get more time and hopefully they're not aligned to Star Wars movies, I think that's really exciting.
But also they'll have new consoles that are extremely powerful, so they're gonna make use of all that, which is gonna be
keep an eye on Respawn. I think we're getting some good stuff from them in the
juicy
future.
stuff.
Some juicy stuff. Speaking of juicy stuff, let's talk about rumors. Reports. Call of Duty 2020 is called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War by Joe Scrabbles at IGN. New reports suggest this year's Call of Duty game will be titled Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and will return to the Black Ops sub-series historical setting. The title was posted by Call of Duty leaker Okami on Twitter and backed up by sources of Eurogamer. Eurogamer added it will return to the series' roots, but didn't specify any specific events or locations. The real-life Cold War is regarded as having lasted from 1947 to 1991. Whether this is a reboot of the sub-series or a prequel to Black Ops story, which has since headed into the future, is still unknown. Activision had already formally announced the expected 2020 installment of Call of Duty, but didn't confirm which of its studios would act as the lead developer. Rumors at the time suggested Treyarch would be the lead, which feels even more likely given that it created the Black Ops sub-series. Sledgehammer and Raven are rumored to be the support studios on the project. Those same rumors claimed that this Black Ops game is set in the Cold War, and that it would restore a single-player campaign after Black Ops 4 dropped this feature. I forgot about that. I forgot Black Ops 4 had no campaign.
I remember that. Yep.
The reports coincide with the recent opening of Call of Duty Modern Warfare's Call of Duty Warzone. A lot of war and warfare and stuff in Call of Duty. War. Call of Duty Warzone's bunkers, which have also seen data miners discovering what seems to be a model for a Cold War era spy plane, the U-2. We already heard that Warzone will evolve to accommodate multiple games in the series, with Infinity Ward's Taylor Kurosaki saying the Battle Royales mode will be the through line that connects all the different sub-franchises of Call of Duty. What do you think about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War?
I have other juicy details about it.
Oh.
From a source who will be nameless, but there's a rumor that this is going to be taking place after Call of Duty 1, and it's going to use characters from Call of Duty 1, which is like, that's pretty insane.
That'd be cool. Who are the characters from Call of Duty 1?
I don't know, but he said like this could be like a return to kind of expanding that original story, which I was like, man, I always thought about the original Call of Duty games, and it was a little like, it wasn't too memorable. Mm-hmm. It was good, but it was like, it'd be interesting to go back. So it's right after World War II, because it's 47, and then, which there wasn't much immediately going on. So it's going to be interesting how you do a Cold War game.
Well, it's so funny because all the original, at least Black Ops 1, I remember very well, being about the Cold War and kind of like involving the Kennedy assassination and everything. And the actor Sam Witwer, I think, was the main guy, and Gary Oldman was in it, and and Kiefer Sutherland was in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kiefer.
No, that was World at War.
He was in
World at War.
He was in Black Ops. No, he was in World at War.
Yeah, because Gary Oldman's character from World at War was transferred into Black Ops, and that was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting if they like go back to that time period, but also they're running out of stuff to make games on. Like, the Cold War was not this very exciting shooting time for any country. I hope a lot of it is like sitting in boardrooms talking about where to put your nuclear sites, and that's a lot of the campaign.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a Call of Duty game, but it's weird. The Warzone, so Warzone's just gonna continue existing like for a while, unlike Blackout, which kind of like died out.
So Warzone will be in every game, it sounds like, because it's free.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
All right.
It's going to take up 900 gigabytes on your hard drive eventually.
That's the only thing, that's the stupidest thing that they need to figure out. They need to stop like having you download the whole textures.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah.
I had to uninstall it because it took up way too much space on my hard drive, and I wanted to download the games.
That's why I'm never gonna install my PC because I do not want that space. That space is more precious to me.
It's crazy.
Also, anyone who's capped, I mean, they're paying, even though right now we're technically not getting paid for it. But
yeah, uncapped.
Ugh. That's another thing.
Well, I know we're all going to be clamoring to know what the Call of Duty name is. Who knows what it'll be? Mm-hmm. Usually it's announced during the NBA Finals. That's not going to happen this year. So, thank you so much for watching another episode of the Side Escape Game Report. We just did it. Have a wonderful week.